Someone asked me about aging the other day and or left a comment about it on here if I have any tips about it. I just figured why not talk about it? I mean, as far as being on camera, lighting has a lot to do with that. So, I mean, anyone can change their appearance by doing certain things. I mean, if you put me in bad lighting, put anyone in bad lighting, I mean, it's going to accentuate your features no matter what age you are. I mean, it's going to accentuate your flaws. So it's good to light yourself decently, to take pictures the same way. Try to take, if you can, take pictures in a flattering light. I mean, this is how they do things with actors, with models, with newscasters. Of course, we're talking about just on camera, because being on camera, it can make you look bigger than you are, but depending on how you shoot yourself at an angle, you can look different with pictures or video. You know, your newscasters have good lighting, actors, they shoot models in favorable lighting. And we're not talking about filters or any of that. We're just talking about the basics, to look good on camera, whether it's video or photo. But there's so many things that affect aging. I'm sure some of it's genetics. With my own life, it's probably has to do with some of my lifestyle choices. I've been fortunate because I have abused myself throughout my life. I mean, there's been times I've had bouts with alcoholism, all these personality collapses I've suffered throughout my life. I talk about in past videos, depression, wanting to self-delete, all these things that I've battled. Maybe being a borderline, that's possible. I have been diagnosed before as bipolar. I've dealt with OCD, though I was never diagnosed with it, but I know I had it. Dealt with all kinds of different mental illness type things. And a lot of these things could have aged me more, but I think, like, with certain things, I just got off of it. Like alcohol, I never just stayed on it. When I've battled over the counter drugs when I was working out, I did almost pass away from that years ago, but I got off of it. I never went back on that stuff. I mean, there's things that I changed in my life, how I eat. I mean, do I eat some junk sometimes? Sure, but compared to most people, I eat an overall healthy diet. Overall, I mean, there's some junk I eat, but it's just overall compared to what most people eat in a day. I don't consume. I always leave this damn heater on when I'm gonna do a video. Let me turn that off. I don't eat as many calories in a day as most people. I don't. If I eat junk, I don't eat a lot of anything else. So it's moderation. You try to eat some good stuff. You might eat some bad stuff. You just try not to overdo it. So that's where I'm at. I just try not to harm myself with a lot of things that I put in my body. I take vitamins. Right now, I take a men's vitamin, and then but it's not the cheapest vitamin. It's like not the most expensive, but not the cheapest, because vitamins, especially real cheap ones, won't absorb, or if they do absorb, it's very, very little. So I take a gummy type of vitamin, and then I take, usually the brand is Ollie's that I like to take, but sometimes I change it up. And then I take right now I'm taking a vitamin with hyaluronic acid in it, because I don't do good with skin serums, things on my face like skin serums or a lot of different creams and stuff. I don't get a good reaction from. So I try to do most things just from the inside out. Of course, try to make sure you get some water in the day. I don't use regular soap on my face. I use face wash, usually with hyaluronic acid in it, sometimes with vitamin C. Sometimes I switch that up. So it just depends. but I haven't used regular soap on my face in years. I don't. I try not to use the cheapest products, but I also can't afford the most expensive products. But I just try to come to a happy medium with, I know at least if I get it something decent, it'll be okay. Like I use a lotion that's usually argan oil of Morocco. Sometimes I change up the body cream a little bit. I use I don't use the cheapest shampoos either. Usually an argan oil of Morocco shampoo. I'm not fond of conditioners. I was washing my hair like every week, once a week, but now I'm actually been washing it lately every 2 or 3 days, especially if I put any hairspray in it, which I try not to do a lot, but sometimes I will because of frizz. It just depends on the day. If the day is really windy and I'm not going to put my hair up, I might use some hairspray just to try to control the frizz. I like a little bit of makeup sometimes. I'm different that way. It's not something a lot of guys are going to want to do. That's what I like to do. So you got to be who you are. That's something I've been dealing with, as I've talked about in past videos, finding who I really am, what I really like, what I'm all about, and not worried about what everybody else might want me to be or me trying to fit in with any group of people. And you should do the same thing. You should be who you want, be your style, be what you're about. If you like something, do it. Don't worry about the gender stuff or worry about somebody judging you on it because it's not cliche man or cliche woman, or you're not fitting in to the mold, or somebody's trying to bully you, or a group of people are trying to bully you. But back on aging, exercise. I haven't exercised as much lately, but yeah, you want to try to stay in decent shape. I mean, you can do cardio, you can do jumping jacks, you can stretch, you can do yoga. I used to do heavy workouts. Now I'm more fond of, to be honest, more feminine workouts. So like yoga or stretching, jumping jacks, cardio. I like to stay smaller for the most part. So that's for me. You may find something else that you like. Some people like to do martial arts. Some people do like to get into heavy lifting. I've done that stuff before too. But try to keep yourself in decent shape. It helps the overall body too. It's going to help your tone. If you're wanting your muscle tone, it's going to get the heart pumping. That's going to keep you youthful. Exercising keeps you youthful. Keeping yourself fairly hydrated keeps you useful. Like I said, using certain products. Don't use the absolute cheapest crap on yourself. Try to, little things can help your appearance. Like grooming your nails, taking care of your teeth, basic things. Little things like that can help a whole lot. Now, what else has probably helped me through my life is I feel like even though I've had very stressful moments, I've had stressful times with my depression and personality issues, I've never had the stress of any very long relationship. Relationships, I'm not saying they're all bad, but they put a lot of pressure on people. They often do put a lot of pressure on people. You see people all the time that they have the families, they have the job they absolutely have to have. A lot of times people end up, I guess let me use an example, hypothetical. This applies to a lot of people where they get in a job, the job's a grind, they have kids, they have the wife, they have the house, the mortgage, the cars, all this stuff, the material stuff, they may have loans, they may be financing the car, furniture, whatever else they have. A lot of times people are trying to keep up with other people, and then they have responsibility of kids on top of that, and they may be in a job too they can't stand, but because they have all this stuff, they're stuck. They're completely stuck, and other people are dependent upon them. This definitely happens to men a lot, but it happens to women too. They get in their careers they don't like. Sometimes they're taking care of kids and they're taking care of a guy, and it can work any which way, but you can get stuck in those situations to where I think the stress ages people and ends up, you only have so much energy. So if your energy is going to all these places, a job you hate, it's going to money for children, it's going to paying all these loans and mortgages and whatever else, and all these things that you're trying to finance, all this material goods, all of these material goods, then I feel like a lot of people age from that sort of thing as well. It's just so many factors that go into it, and I've never been married. I don't have children. I don't plan on having them. I'm not speaking against people who really truly want that, but it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for me and the issues I've had through the years, but I genuinely just don't want that either. I live as a minimalist. I used to try back in the day to do what other people did, and felt like, oh, people are judging me, I gotta have all these material goods. No, I tend to keep one vehicle for years at a time. Same case now. The car I've had for a very long time. I own it now. Before that, I had an old truck that I had forever. I had another car before that I had for like 10 years. Now, I will say the truck I had, my dad gave me. It was his old truck, and then because my car that had 10 years crapped out, and then the truck was eventually going to crap out, and the girlfriend I was with for 5 years that lived here, we broke up in 2018. I have her car. So it sounds funny. I have her old car. And what had happened was, it was about a year and a half before we broke up. Me and her dad had a good relationship. And my parents had bought her a lot of stuff. And I think, I can't really just speak for him, but I think he just felt like he wanted to, she ended up wanting his old car, and then he got a new car, and then he wanted to give me that car, and that's what happened. So I can say, yeah, I've been given, that truck was a 93 that my dad gave me, but I was grateful. I needed a vehicle at that time. This car is an Impala. It's an '07 Impala, but it's been a great car to me, and I'm grateful that he wanted to give that to me. So I've been fortunate in things like that, but I'll keep something like that. I'll keep a vehicle. I'm not going to sit there and go out and finance and pay $500-600 a month for a vehicle. I'm not going to do it. I mean, a lot of people want to do that. I mean, I used to work with a guy who every 6 months he had to have another vehicle, and he's always paying a fortune, and then he's financing furniture and financing everything else, and then he's complaining about his bills. And another guy I worked with had 10 credit cards maxed out and would brag about them being maxed out. I'm like, what's there to brag about? Because he also was complaining about his bills. I worked with people that were spending $30 on lunch every day because they were having people bring it to work for them, like Grubhub and these delivery services, and having to tip them and pay for these meals every day. And then people get stressed out. I think all that stuff contributes to you aging. So do genetics play a role? Sure, but all this other stuff, what you do to your physical body, Do you pamper yourself a little bit? That helps. It just does. What you eat, all these things will affect you. So that's really, I guess, all I can really say about it is. Now, I will say, do I myself, how do I feel about aging? I don't like it. I mean, who does, you know? I mean, I'm one of these people, I could tell you, I can be obsessive about things a lot of times. I try not to be, it's one of my issues. If I had a bunch of money, I mean, yeah, I'd probably be the person getting the injections. I'd probably be the person getting fillers. Yeah, I'm probably that, probably would likely do that. And each to their own, you know, as long as you're not just hurting anybody else or physically hurting yourself or putting yourself in debt to do these things, if you have the money. So I'm just saying, you know, a lot of people worry about aging. They don't care for it. And I'll admit, I'm one of those too. But it is a reality. It happens to us. But all I can say, as far as just naturally, there are all these things you can do to prevent a lot of things just by trying to take care of yourself to a certain degree and not abusing your body. So I guess that's all I really have to talk about right now. Can't really think of anything else. So guess I'll talk to y'all later on.